Well, I mean, the 80s era. Urban. This is called culture.
Dolomite, motherfucker. Lord Dumar, that's the same brother here with all the babies. That's him right there. What year we talking about those? Ah, man, this gotta be in the 70s. Okay, that's Understanding the Boxer. That's in Medina. You ever watched the movie, the one in here? Yeah. Education in Southern Park. Education in Southern Park. Yeah, Champ. Yeah, that's Akbar. But they did. If I don't get little boy the way I want to get him, I want him got. I want him laying out. I want him got. Cause niggas need to be got. He need to be taken off to here. That's right.
Up in 1980 as the Bed-Stuy Boxing Association by Lamont Flanagan. His purpose was for kids to have a different alternative to the streets. So he opened the gym up, which was great. I thought it was great. But upon 1984, after Mark Breland won the 1984 Olympic gold medal, the gym was doormat. And they opened back up in 1987 under the offspring of Mr. Malik Haj Abdul Muhammad, and to this day it's still New Bed-Stuy Boxing Center Inc., producer of world champions, Olympians, Olympic trialists, Golden Glove champions. As a matter of fact, we are the most dominant, that is dominant club in the history of the Daily News Golden Gloves.
Mark Breland, Hot Pepper Brent, Riddick Bowe, Leon Taylor, Tandy Forster, McGee, so many, man. I can't even name them all. But we had some great fighters out of this gym here, and that's when boxing was really boxing, man.
A place like this, Bed-Stuy Gym, a place like that kept me from getting in trouble, kept me getting involved in gangs, and holding guns, and moving drugs, and using drugs. Bed-Stuy Boxing really did everything for me. I grew up in here. I started boxing, not formally in the gym, but in the hallways of Tompkins Howard. and sometimes in the back and out in the back in the basketball courts. We used to bring out our boxing gloves, and you know, some guy would challenge somebody else, and we, you know, get in there and slug it out. But for me, it started in the hallways, in the 760 Park Avenue.
So you used to run these things?
Yeah. You smell it all. My apartment, I like to come down here all the time. Just walk right downstairs. Come Mark apartment. Where they live. In 14G. Where the Brelands live.
Now, did you grow up with Mark Breland? If so, how did you meet him?
Yeah, we were in the same building. The same building. They lived on the 14th floor. My family lived on the 15th floor. We lived directly above and below each other.
In the 80s, actually both of us know him. In the 80s, Big Daddy Kane. Kane was a good friend of mine, good friend of Mark's. Mark was actually in his video.
What video was that?
Ain't No Half Step.
Some I done heard another MC to try to get with me. I'll just break them and make them and break them and take them and mold them and make them hold up the peace sign. Arsenal away.
81, 82. And then, oh, this Jim here, man. You couldn't come to the door after 5 o'clock, couldn't get in here.
That's how packed it was?
If it was raining outside, you had people standing there with umbrellas. Looking in. The window was sweat all the time.
Wow. And what about?
There was a guy, Leon Taylor.
Cat. The cat.
You know, I used to box, you know, it was like, okay, Mark, you know, we got his Leon. I'm like, damn, I gotta box Leon again? I'm like, Leon be like, damn, I gotta box Mark again? But Leon was like, what, 165? And you know, we'll talk in the dressing room in the locker room. Just go easy, all right, just go easy. And then, you know, we just start boxing. If I slip something, everybody go, ooh. I gotta get mine. Then I hear hit me, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get mine back. We just started off fighting. It's like, that's it. But, you know, it was just out of respect.
Yeah. Leon Taylor was one of the, I think he was the best guy that came out of here, me personally. All right, Leon could adapt to anybody's style and pick it up and then overtake it. I seen Leon, you know, in hand-to-hand combat with Michael Spinks, Mustafa, and couldn't let him handle him. He had a good trainer.
So my Eddie Mustafa?
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. He couldn't handle Leon. I seen Michael Spinks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, they was in there with him, but Leon was some way always having to take over. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Leon the Cat Taylor.
All right. And where you from?
From Brooklyn.
What part?
Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy.
All right. What street?
Brooklyn Avenue, Kingston Avenue.
Kingston Avenue.
Tompkins Avenue. Name it, I've been everywhere.
Now, what was it like coming up in the 80s on Kingston Avenue in Brooklyn?
It was hard. It was a tough neighborhood, and we fought a lot in the street. Before I even came to the gym, I knew how to fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, during that era, a lot of people say 52 Handblocks, Stato. Did you know how to do 52? Was that something you learned first?
Everybody did that.
Right.
Everybody tried to do it.
Right.
It was some that were real good at it.
Right.
But that's how we fought. Everybody fought back then.
Now, was it some legendary street fighters that was back in the day? Like, you can give some names, some legendary 52
I'm gonna
guys?
give you one, Glass Man.
Glass Man.
Yeah, the best.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And what about Glass Man? I heard it was a
Oh, yeah, you had Glass Man who my understanding, who taught Eric Tweedy. Right. Who was locking with Eric Tweedy, you know what I mean? Eric Tweedy was from Marcy Projects. He was nice with his shit, you know, the type of shit that you want to see. He was nice.
Then you got guys come home from jail with all that, man.
no such thing as weight classes in the street.
But one thing, I remember you had guys, you know a guy named Tony Robinson. He's still out there now. He was nice with that old 52
pickup.
I'm talking about, he'd sweep a guy off his feet. I'm like,
Now, back then we had moves called 52 moves. It was really boxing, being fly, and things of that nature. So the 52 moves, the 52 block, literally was moves that was perfected by a brother that was in jail.
We had a brother named Babyface back from Bed-Stuy. He be out for a while. He was another one. You had quite a few brothers there when I was there, like Eric Tweedy. These are brothers
I heard about Eric Tweedy,
about,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And we had True God. We had like, at that time we had like the best crew over there in C-76. So now this ain't even going upstate on Rikers Island. This ain't even going upstate. And I turned around and I did a turnaround that year when I was supposed to be coming home. I went back to C-74. I met these two brothers, the Blues brothers, they from Brooklyn also. You know what I mean? They had the 52, but they had a different style.
And Tweedy, yeah, Eric Tweedy, yeah. Yes.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, what made you want to get into boxing?
Actually, this is how I started. I tried out for Brooklyn USA basketball team, and I didn't make it, so I went next door, Ray Haskins. Yeah.
All right.
So had Brooklyn USA basketball team.
Also worked at St. John's Recreation Center where I ran a recreation program.
And I didn't make the team. I went next door, and that's how I started boxing.
Now, what was next door?
The boxing gym.
Which one?
St. John's Recreation.
So you saying St. John's Rec had boxing?
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Wow.
With Mr. Simile. Two men taught me how to fight. George Washington and Willy Dockery.
All right, now, who was Willy Dockery?
Bad man. He taught me, he taught Richard Britt, and he taught Blimp.
That's some history right there. So, when did you go to Bed-Stuy Boxing Gym?
So when we left Broadway and Myrtle, we opened up Bed-Stuy. So I'm the original Bed-Stuy. Me, Mark Breland, Blimp, Harry, Ed Gregg, Hot Pepper Bent, Richard Bent. These are the original.
Now, what was the atmosphere like in the 80s boxing in Bed-Stuy?
Hot. It was real hot.
A lot of competition?
A lot of competition. What made Bed-Stuy good was us competing against each other. So when we go and fight, it was like a walk in the park.
Get out of here.
It was like, at that time in the 80s, in the finals, in the Golden Glove, Bed-Stuy might have about 8-9 people. And then so they fight each other in the finals.
Now, who was some of the guys you came up with during that era in the 80s at Bed-Stuy Boxing Gym?
Me, Mark Breland, Leon Taylor, Riddick Bowe, Tony Hope, Carter Truth Williams. They used to call me, they used to write me and Mark Breland up in the papers as the Brooklyn Bombers. You know, we went to quite a few countries together. We went to Sweden, Denmark, Stockholm, Scandinavia. Went to California Nationals together. Went to North Carolina Nationals together. Me and Breland, we was close together with the Nationals, going out to USA fighting teams.
So you went from the streets to jail, Sing Sing. Did you box when you was in Sing Sing?
I boxed when I was in Elmira.
All right.
Yeah, that's when I started at Elmira.
Right. And then from there you came home and you won the Golden Glove.
Came home and won the glove.
Now, did you have the record for the most knockouts? And what was that situation between you and Mark with the knockouts?
Yeah, I had the fastest knockout first round in 25 seconds. And then Mark Breland came behind me and he broke my record.
For me, I was in Howard Houses in Brownsville.
Wow.
Yeah, Joe Williams, my first trainer.
And then from there, where'd you go?
Then from there, I went up to St. John's Center, across the street from Army Projects.
So,
I stayed there for about 5 years. Then I went down to Bed-Stuy because I see it was popping down there.
Wow.
They had Mark Breland. They had all those guys down there. I was like, let me go where it is, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be a part of the big show. So I went down there and I became a part of the big show.
Now, who was some of the legendary fighters at Bed-Stuy at the time when you came?
Shit, when I was down there. All right, when I was down there, you had Mark Breland, you had Leon Taylor, you had Ed Gregg. I mean, shit, Carl Williams. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, man. We really don't have that much film to tell you. Everybody that was up in there. Mark Kim, Bob was coming in. Yeah, we heard about Bob.
Yeah, Bob's our man.
He was more of a street legend.
He more on the streets than right.
Boxing. But me and Bob got it in a couple of times. I remember one time we was outside in the project and we were just bullshitting with our hands, chest boxing, and we had people out the window, coming out of the Bronx, stopping in their cars. I'm like, damn, son, we ain't even fighting for real. Yeah. We just going through it, you know what I'm saying? So he was a legend back then. He know how to take care of himself. He took care of himself real good. Yeah, he was nice.
If I can remember, Bob.
Yeah, nice and smooth, yeah.
Like in the streets, that's how he fought.
Yeah.
He was a smooth competitor.
And rolling with the punches. You know what I mean? I can keep my hands down and fight you like this because anything you throw, I can just roll with it. Roll with it, come back and counter off it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, we got a legendary brother here. You know, want you to give the people your name, where you from.
Go by the name of Mark Kim, or Big Ball, Boxing Ball, from Albany Projects. You know, here with my man Sunday, you know.
All right.
Adding on, you know. Oh, well, yeah, when I came to the Bed-Stuy gym, I came in 1980 with my brother Cintron. And when we got here, you know, we knew the legendary trainer Artie Cintron as well as George Washington, you know, who was training me and my brother. And you know, homeboys was here, Hot Pepper Brent, Henry Hot Pepper Brent, Mark Breland, Bamboo, you know, all of them was Golden Glove champs. Leon Taylor, you know. It was other cats here, you know. Those was the ones that I really, you know, knew. Right. Ever since I saw Muhammad Ali, I fell in love with boxing, you know. And yes, it was one of my dreams, you know. And I would say I was successful on an amateur level, you know, even though it was in a penitentiary, you know. I was the undisputed, undefeated light heavyweight champ of NAP, you know, back in 84, 85, you know. But it was definitely a dream, you know. But
so you was an undefeated champ while you was in the penitentiary.
Absolutely.
You know, one year our gym, we had 12 guys in the final.
Oh, Mark actually fought someone in the finals who was a hitman on America's Most Wanted.
No, that's what I'm trying to figure out his name. And it was in the
Spanish dude.
Pedro Estrada.
Estrada.
You know,
he's on America's Most Wanted.
He was in the one of the top 10 hitmen. Wow.
There it is. Now he bounced his right knee off. Now he's floundering. He's out of the ropes, out of the ring, on the apron of the ring. He doesn't know where he is at all. And there was really... Mark Breland wins his third Golden Gloves medal on a 51-second knockout of Pedro Estrada in the first round.
What was your record when you finished in the amateurs?
110-1.
Is that a record as far as amateur boxing?
Yeah, I think in the Golden Glove, they sent me the record. I had 24 fights over 5 years and 23 knockouts.
I'm Yoel Judah, former 3-time world kickboxing champion of the world. I'm from Bed-Stuy Boxing Gym, tutors under Big George. All All right.
Now, what was it like training here and boxing here in the 1980s?
It was ferocious. I mean, yo, you had to literally really know how to fight. You came into this gym right here. It was like, you know, you walked into. They always say the Crom. The Crom was Bed-Stuy was the infamous gym here, right?
Right.
So you learn if it broke you, it made you or it broke you. You had to learn here. You learned here. You developed. Main thing you got there, it brought out so many champions because you had good trainers here. You had good trainers. Then you had a lot of good fighters. You had good fighters. I mean, fighters was out the wall. You know what I mean? You had them all here.
Name some of the great fighters that came out of here that either made it big or was from the streets, whatever the case may be.
You had Timmy Burgess, who was WBA champion of the world. You had Stephon Johnson was a contender. You had Mark Breland, Mark Breland was two-time world champion. You had Hot Pepper, you know, who was a devastating little fighter. You had Riddick Bowe, who at the time was crack jokes. And we used to buy him ices and all that. He was a big kid with a big afro, with no shoes in his and no strings in his sneakers.
Wow.
But he could fight. You had Blimp. You had Big Blimp. You had Harry Keefe. You had Brian Adams. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can go on and go on. You had Tony Hope. You know what I'm saying? You had so many guys that came out of here that was remarkable. And yo, they were just good. Most of them became champion of the world. Or they became contenders.
During when we first started, we were going out traveling. We would travel to different states. We go to Jersey, go to anywhere they had fights. We would go. George would take us, and we would do well. But what they were doing, they started to take our fights because they were decisions. And George got us in a huddle one day and said, "Look, you got to knock these guys out." Once we understood that, everybody in here started knocking people out. We went to the Golden Gloves, and we won the Golden Gloves 5 times.
Wow.
Right? As a team. So everybody in here was starting to knock people out. I don't know if it was a grudge match, but as an amateur, I did, which should have been in the finals. I fought against Iran Barkley.
Oh, you fought against Iran Barkley?
Yeah.
Wow. How did that work out?
Oh, that was toe-to-toe, non-stop, 3 rounds. But back then, I didn't know who he was. But you know, it all turned out well.
You won that fight against Iran Blade Barkley?
Yeah.
Oh wow! All right, decision, knockout, or?
No, it was a decision. It was a 3-round, non-stop fight.
That was in the Golden Gloves.
In the Golden Gloves.
And a friend of mine from my building, 1 floor above me, Terry Branch, he won the Golden Gloves, and he pulled me to the side one day. He said, "You got a quick temper, you can fight. Why don't you come down to the gym with me and work out with me?" You know, we knew Terry because he won the glove. Golden Gloves was real popular back in the days. And I came down and I seen a Spanish kid boxing by my side, Cuevas. And he was like number 2 in the country at the time. I said, man, he can't do nothing with me. And Terry told me to suit up. Got in the ring, he damn near killed me. Whoa, I never forget that day. He damn near killed me. And so I wanted to train just to beat him.
In Brooklyn.
I came in 81. I was tagging along with a few friends of mine, and we came in the Bed-Stuy gym. I was introduced to Henry Hopper Brent, the man up there on the wall, 2-time USDA champ, and he inspired me, kept coming in. My first day, he said I'm a quick learner. My second day, everything went beautiful. First time I fought was like maybe 90 days or 3 months or 6 months. I fought right here in Bed-Stuy gym. I won split decision, 3-2, and from there, I was on road to the riches. going all the way to the top. 2-time Golden Glove champ, 5-time Kid Glove champ, and 4-time Junior Olympic. Ranked number 9 national, ranked number 5 in the country, and ranked number 1 in New York City. Best of Bed-Stuy Gym.
Pirates balls, beef is skim. Plays too loud, you might.
I won the gloves 3 times. Got 3 golds and 2 silvers. 92, I got a silver, 93 gold, 94 silver, 95 and 96 gold.
That word right here. This that word right here.
Now, what made you go into law enforcement after your pro career?
After my pro career, the pro career went, I only had 4 fights. The last one was a draw. I was very disappointed with that. I thought I won the fight, but I'm not even gonna go there. The last fight kind of just sent me off into a different direction as far as, you know, what I was gonna do with my career, because it seemed like you have to be somebody or know somebody to get ahead in this game. And at the time I was, you know, trying to raise a young child, you know, with limited resources, so I had to go get a job. I had taken a police department test back in 1986. When I was still an amateur. And there was an incident that happened in 1986 that was the Eleanor Bumpers. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
I remember the Eleanor Bumpers, yeah.
There was an incident that happened to Eleanor Bumpers where she was shot and killed by a police officer. It was an old lady, 66 years old, just holding a knife, and she was shot and killed by the police officer. So that kind of got me to a point where I said, you know, you can make a change. You can make a change, but you can't change it from the outside. You have to go inside. So that's what was my decision to become a police officer.
Now, did he have a big afro back then? I heard they used to call him Don King because he had a big afro.
Yeah, he had a, that's what also you saw come in was his afro first. And then he started shouting and yelling. His mouth was going every day after that.
One way or the other. He talks too much, that's why I don't like him. But you can look at me, I'm locally confident. Yeah, okay? If you really think you're loaded, you wait till after I put my foot in your ass. There's whoever has it. And again, oh, I know.
Came in. The very first day Riddick Bowe came in. He came in, nobody knew who he was. He came to the front door. He yelled out with a loud voice that I'm gonna be the next heavyweight champ of the world.
Wow.
Just walked in the gym and said that, right? Everybody thought he was crazy, didn't know who he was. And then later on, he became the world champ.
Yeah, I started boxing in Bed-Stuy Boxing Gym. Then I went to Oneonta Job Corps. I boxed up there. Yeah, it was kind of an advantage because the average kid, if he didn't know how to fight, he just wasn't even 1-2 knockout punch. It didn't even combination. It was over.
Well, you know, and I remember now. Remember we used to bring guys in the gym, you know, for sparring. Off the street. Yes. And George Washington, man.
He did it to both of us.
Yo, guy being there. You know, we could be in the gym, somebody bring a fight in the gym. One guy, I remember this guy named Carl Wilson. He was like the Hulk. I mean, this guy came just out of jail fresh, ripped. We beat him down to 147 pounds. But the thing about it, they would bring a guy in the gym and we're looking for boxing. You can box a skinny guy. No, he's too small. Hey, don't worry about it. He's too small.
Advertised